Alright guys, this is another FSD 12.5.6.3 video. Just going to meet a client, so 20-minute drive, hoping to do 0 interventions. That's no pedal press, no anything. I'll speed up when there's kind of nothing going on and slow down if there's anything worth talking about. And yeah, the drive I don't think is going to go on the highway at all for this whole thing, so there's going to be none of the end-to-end highway, but there is quite a bit of traffic in through the city, so hoping to get some good interactions and hopefully, yeah, do it intervention-free there and back would be ideal. Really good job on the turn here. It was a yield and there was just the one other vehicle we kind of had to wait on, and rather than coming to a full stop, the car just kind of kept a good pace, saw that vehicle, and then we slid in behind them. So that was really good. I feel like on earlier versions we may have actually stopped and waited, whereas this felt very smooth and natural. Great job there. So this is one of those situations where almost having the driver profiles continue between city roads as well as highway would be nice, because in chill, I don't mind that we're in this lane, but in a hurry or assertive mode, that lane 2 over, it'll go through the light quicker, and then you just have to merge soon after to get back into traffic. But if you were in a rush, you would definitely want to be in that lane to get past all this traffic. And it's just a way where, you know, like as you're going for a drive, if you are genuinely just chilling or standard, you're not in a rush, you would never really want the car to have to use those lanes, because it is a little bit more assertive to have to then merge back in. But if I'm running a little bit late and I'm in a robotaxi, it would be nice to have the option to be like, hey, can we like do this as quickly as possible? And choosing that lane would be that scenario. So hard to know what the right way to do it is. And maybe I'm wrong for wanting that, but as a human driver, like I can see 2 other cars that are going to go ahead and merge right after this. So people do definitely do it, and just having some way to prompt the car to do it would be sort of nice. Starting to see Cybertrucks on the road a whole lot more. I've seen 2 today. This is the 3rd one. Always fun though, because there's really not that many in Canada yet. We only just started getting them. So if you have a Cybertruck and you want photos taken, give me a heads up. So good job getting over here for the turn. Bit of traffic, but no problem. And then I feel like we're just going to merge right here. Yeah, really good job through both these things. Kept a good speed through this. Nice job. I don't always do it, but sometimes I'll drive to places that I don't really know where I'm going, and I'll have the FSD map maximized so that I don't necessarily see the upcoming corner, and it's just a kind of very like robotaxi feeling way to drive, because if I'm not even aware of the upcoming turns and I'm literally just staring out, supervising the drive, it feels a lot different to just be taken somewhere and not really know where you're going per se by a car. Not sure if anyone else does that. Might just be me. Because the other thing too, if I know where the turn is, I'm definitely obsessing about what decisions the car is making ahead of time, because there was a right turn that we had to take there, and I might have gotten over a little bit earlier, and so then when the car isn't doing that, I'll stress about it. But in the end, if it does a good job, then there's no reason for me to be overly analytical about what the car does, which I think is a lot of people's problems today with FSD. Is if it's not doing exactly what you want it to do, you're going to fault the car and say it's making a mistake. So in some ways, it's sort of nice just to be able to sit back, let it do its thing, and not analyze every little decision it's making. At the end of the day, as long as what it's doing is safe, that's all that matters. Yeah. And as we get into a school zone here, I don't think it's going to happen just because there's quite a bit of traffic. But in this version, we have the option to spin the wheel to set the max speed. So, you know, max right now is 30. The car definitely will go 45-ish. These are kilometers because I'm in Canada. And it's nice that coming through the school zone, if there was nobody and the car was going over 30, I could turn the wheel and get the max speed down to 30. So that's actually a hard cap max, and it wouldn't actually be able to, or wouldn't go any faster than 30. It's just a nice way of being able to get through school zones and parks without having to actually disengage. Rather, you can just set that, and then once you're through, you can just scroll the wheel back, or the next time it sees a new speed limit, it'll increase again. So good job here. This is kind of a unique scenario. There's, people poked out trying to get into there. The car did a good job going around, very smooth, very human-like as the traffic backs up for picking kids up out of school. Oh, kid on the road here. Okay, car did a good job stopping. He was on the wrong side. That was really good. We were taking the right turn there, and that kid was on a scooter. And yeah, the car, slowed down, behaved appropriately given the situation. Great drive though. Zero interventions, no pedal presses, anything. I'm just going to stop, meet with the client, and I'll turn the camera back on for the round trip, and hopefully we can do the whole trip with no interventions. All right, so I'm finished now. Just going to head home. So pretty much the same drive we just did, headed backwards. Same thing, just going to hit go. Hopefully we can finish the whole drive round trip intervention free. It's a very simple drive at the end of the day. There's no doubt about that, but it is kind of cool to just be driven around entirely by your car, right? A to B. So hit start and see how it goes. So I will say the one thing I notice on this build sometimes, it's very timid to start. So right now we're going 16, 17 in a 50 zone. I don't want it to go 50 right now because we have to stop right away. But it does, if I engage FSD at a low speed, it takes quite a bit for it to build up to a top speed. Whereas if I would have engaged at 30 or 40, it would have felt a lot more confident to start. But either way, aggressive creep here. We have a hedge blocking our view, so I would go now, and it did, perfect. Good job there. And yeah, this may just be a lot of sitting traffic for the drive back, but still is just nice to literally, as I'm fast forwarding these, I'm usually just listening to a podcast. I can have a drink and just kind of relax. Yeah, for me, it's invaluable. The amount of time that I spend doing this kind of commuting for the work that I do just takes away so much of the little stress and micro decisions that you're having to make as a driver. So yeah, I'm supervising, and yeah, at all times I'm ready to take over. I can grab the wheel, I can put the brake on, do whatever I need to. But that is a lot easier than hand on the wheel, touching the gas all the time, worrying about what speed you're going, this and that. There's so many little decisions, like keeping the car in the lane. All those decisions are being handled by FSD, and they seem small. I mean, everybody does it every single day. Every other car around me, maybe the Tesla behind me is also using full self-driving, but every other person is doing that and has been doing that for years, and it's fine. And everybody will, argue and say that full self-driving isn't worth it, but you honestly need to use it for your daily commute, and then you'll start to realize the overall fatigue from driving and stress from driving goes away. Once you get comfortable with the system and understand the nuance and how it works and its shortcomings, it is honestly a very stress-free drive. I know I've spent enough time with this latest build, the things that it's really, really good at and the things that it isn't great at. At no point am I worried about my safety. All the things that it does that at this point that are mistakes are comfort issues and things that I'm able to intervene with more than enough time. So yeah, I genuinely could never own a car that didn't have some sort of full self-driving. Good job here on the four-way. I'm curious if there'll ever be a world where they can bring back kind of that slow California style stop, or if it'll always have to be, and I understand why, but it'll always have to be that full legal stop. It's funny, like, although legal and the right thing to do, that is something I hear people complain about all the time, because almost nobody else does stop for stop signs. Everybody kind of rolls past the stop line and then continues. So it's funny, full self-driving doing the legal thing is something that people complain about. Here's an issue, not an issue. I wish that right now we would be up in the lane a little bit more. Like, this vehicle behind me is flashing his lights. Like, I wish that we'd be out in the lane ready to turn left rather than making the decision from back there, because I think most people, they sit in the middle of the intersection ready to turn left. So I don't know if that's a legality thing or why full self-driving, and it seems like sometimes it will move into the middle of the intersection and wait, and other times it won't. I don't know what causes it to make the decision on when it does or when it doesn't, but I know, like, literally this bus that's going to come up beside us flashed its headlights because it wanted me to pull forward so that it could come through on the light with me. So definitely human drivers want that more aggressive approach. So here's sort of what I was saying earlier, and the car can see it as well. Like, the right lane is definitely less stacked up with people. It's chill. I'm fine to wait over here, but if I was in a rush, I do think the car moving over into a lane to kind of gain space, like, could be the right move. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, is it good to take the chill approach and just kind of stick in a lane, minimal lane change, and just do your drive? Because yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like, the impatient move is to have gone in that lane, and yeah, I would have been 2 car lengths ahead, but at the cost of a lane change, which is a maneuver, which is going to be more dangerous than just sticking in this lane ultimately. If the thing you're worried about is safety overall, then yeah, maybe just sticking in a lane and going to flow traffic is a better decision than weaving in and out to gain a bit of time. I don't know. And yeah, like, people will probably say in the comments, and it's fair, like, I can instigate a lane change at any point by pressing the signals, and the car will do it. This is me just more thinking forward towards a future where I'm sitting there instead of here, and what decisions would I want the car to make on its own. Also, I don't really want to press the wheel because, like I said at the start of this whole thing, like, it's kind of fun to just go as long as you can without intervening at all. Like, no accelerator press, no signal press, no anything. Because ultimately, like, in 10 minutes here when I get home, the car will have driven me A to B, done everything, and I literally could have been sitting there. I could have been sitting in the passenger seat for this entire thing. I mean, it's going to be a long time until I do trust the car enough to sit over there and completely be unsupervised or robotaxi with it. But, I mean, that's literally what just happened. I didn't need to be sitting here. There's nothing I did in this seat for this entire drive. I just supervised it, and there was nothing that required my intervention because the car did a perfect job. So, yeah, a little bit of a tangent there. It's funny how your mindset changes. Like, I will drive hundreds of kilometers a day and sit here and watch the car drive me and not even question it. But it's funny how different and how the disconnect is when I will be in a parking lot and I'll use Smart Summon. It's the same thing. The car's driving itself, but because I'm not in the car, it makes me so much more nervous. Like, it's so much different to be removed from the vehicle, and I can't just take over at any point. Like, I could stop the summon. But yeah, it's interesting how your mind just really changes. So the first drive in the back of my car, or whenever that is going to be in, 1, 2 years, 3 years, I have no idea the timeline, but it'll be a kind of a funny feeling to start this trip, but do it from back there. But that'll be after years and years of, or not years, months, I don't know what, of full self-driving supervised being perfect. And then once it is just perfect on every drive and there almost never is an issue, then it'll be full self-driving unsupervised. So I'll still probably sit here, but then I'll be able to be on my phone. I'll be able to watch YouTube, go on X, do whatever, but still be here in case something critical did happen. And then if all of a sudden you can go months, a year, and it's like, hey, I've never actually had to intervene all this time when I've been on my phone and just chilling, then I think it'll be like, okay, I get why I could sit in the back, because yeah, I'm in the driver's seat, but what's the difference between me sitting here and there? So yeah, it'll be a slow, gradual change between full self-driving supervised to full self-driving unsupervised to full robotaxi, but it'll be really cool to kind of see it how it progress. With that said, small issue. You can even see it in the map. I wish the car pulled up to where that truck is. Like we're very far back right now. Like this car is stopped where they need to be because they have a stop line for the left turn, but we should be up where this truck is. Like we should be in line with them. Not a huge deal, but definitely the right move for a car to do would be to be stopped up there. So, but not critical enough for me to intervene, so I'm not going to do anything about it. But just worth noting, it would be nice to kind of be able to give feedback on situations like that to Tesla, because it's not something I'm going to disengage for, but it's also something that I think the car should learn and do better on. So this is a unique one. As a driver, I would really not want to be in this truck's turn. So car's kind of actually doing a good job of it. Perfect, yeah, exactly what I would have done. He didn't do it in this scenario, but these trucks, when they make these left turns, they can kind of overlap with your lane as you're turning left, which, you know, if you're in that perfect spot, you can almost get pinched by the truck. So as a human, I would have either sped up there or slowed down, and that's exactly what the car did. The car didn't see enough of a gap ahead of it, and it seemed like we slowed right down and just stayed in a safe spot. So no matter what happened with that semi, we were in a good spot, and that was honestly ideal. I was worried I was going to have to perhaps take over there, just depending on what it did, but what it did was flawless. Wow. I've never really been in exactly that situation with full self-driving to see how it would react, so it was good to see it do that. Interesting. Wow. A couple of things there. I intervened. I almost should have let the car do it and see what it was going to do. I'm also going to intervene here just to not be the asshole. Oh, well, good job. So the car made a bit of a move to go around that first car that was pulling out, which I didn't hate. Whatever, just like, I'll look back at the footage and see, like, maybe as he was turning, he was coming to our lane. And then, kind of like I've said in previous videos, we were coming up to that light. The marker was flashing. I knew that we were going to hit a very stale yellow because there was like the sign flashing before we got to the light saying that signal was going to turn when we got to it. But we came up to a stale yellow. It was still a 100% a yellow light when we went through that light, but that vehicle turned left in front of us, and I don't know, maybe I didn't need to intervene, like maybe the car would have slowed down, or maybe we wouldn't have hit them, but that's just a situation where like that whole thing could have been avoided had the car either A, been a little bit more aggressive to slow down for that yellow light, or B, just know about these prepare to stop signs. But again, like ultimately the wrong move was made by that car that turned left. Like he did the wrong thing. There's no denying that. Full self-driving didn't do anything wrong. We entered on a yellow light, but that's legal. But that just then put us in a dangerous situation as a result of a bad driver, which could have been avoided had we, you know, done X, Y, Z. So, yeah, interesting. I don't know what to say is the right move there. Curious what people think about that. And yeah, I maybe shouldn't have intervened. Like I said, I'm beyond anything else, I'm confident that this car will stop me from hitting things that are obviously in front of it. You know, like that car turned in front, and I bet we would have slammed on the brakes had we needed to. It just, I made the decision before the car did. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. But anyways, that's the drive. Just getting home now. So one intervention for sure, me slamming on the brakes there as the car turned left in front of us. Up for debate on who's at fault there. Let me know in the comments what you think. And otherwise, great job. Car did it. I was relaxed. I got to talk, listen to a podcast. Very, very relaxing drive, though I think it might make a mistake here and turn left in front of this car, which would be a bad way to end it. No, we're good. Yeah, full self-driving is an invaluable thing for me. I love it, and if you haven't tried it and you have a hardware 4 vehicle and you can just do a 1-month trial, highly recommend it. Or if you have a friend that has a hardware 4 vehicle, I highly recommend that. They try it out. And I only say hardware 4 specifically because I think currently hardware 3 is on 12.5.4.2, which not a terrible build, but it has its issues. And I don't think if you're on the fence about full self-driving that that's a version you should try. I think you should wait until then hardware 3 gets updated. Not sure when that's gonna be, but for right now, hardware 4 is in a great place, and I'm sure they'll figure out something for hardware 3 in the future. So anyways, short video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one.